ladies and gentlemen. There are moments in life when you have to stop being naive about the people around you. Not everyone who smiles at you wishes you well. Not everyone who speaks kindly has good intentions. And not everyone who enters your life deserves unlimited access to your heart, your trust, your time, or your peace. This does not mean that you should become suspicious of everyone. It does not mean that you should hate people, judge people recklessly, or imagine evil where none exists. But it does mean that you must develop discernment, because one of the greatest mistakes a person can make is confusing kindness with weakness. There are people who recognize goodness in you and are grateful for it. But there are also people who recognize goodness and attempt to exploit it. They notice that you forgive easily. They notice that you apologize even when you did nothing wrong. They notice that you keep giving second chances. They notice that you are afraid of disappointing people, and if you are not careful, they will use those qualities against you. So pay attention to patterns. If someone constantly lies and then makes you feel guilty for questioning them, be careful. If someone hurts you repeatedly, apologizes only when they fear losing access to you, and then repeats the same behavior, be careful. If someone constantly creates chaos and somehow convinces you that every problem is your fault, be careful. If someone demands loyalty while giving you disrespect, be careful. If someone wants control over your decisions, but refuses to accept responsibility for their own actions, be careful. These are not signs that you should declare someone a monster. They are signs that you should establish boundaries. A mature person understands that compassion does not require for foolishness. You can forgive someone without trusting them again immediately. You can love someone without allowing them to mistreat you. You can pray for someone without giving them unlimited access to your life. You can wish someone well while deciding that they can no longer walk beside you. That is not hatred. That is discernment. There is a difference between having a hard heart and having a guarded heart. A hard heart refuses to love. A guarded heart understands that love must be accompanied by wisdom. Do not allow another person's dysfunction to become your identity. Some people will try to convince you that you are selfish because you finally said no. They will call you arrogant because you stopped accepting disrespect. They may accuse you of changing because you stopped tolerating behavior that was destroying your peace. Let them talk. You are not required to remain the same person simply because someone benefited from the old version of you. Growth will sometimes offend people who preferred you when you had no boundaries. And hear this carefully. You do not have to attend every argument to which you are invited. Some people survive by provoking reactions. They want you angry because anger makes you easier to control. They want you defensive because defensiveness keeps you trapped in their narrative. They want you constantly explaining yourself because every explanation gives them another opportunity to attack. Do not surrender your peace so easily. Learn the power of silence. Sometimes the strongest response is not another argument. It is distance. It is composure. It is refusing to participate in something destructive. You cannot control another person's character, but you can control your own. You cannot force someone to become honest, but you can decide what you will do when they lie. You cannot force someone to respect you, but you can decide what access they receive when they refuse to. You cannot make someone grateful, but you can stop exhausting yourself trying to earn their approval. And perhaps most importantly, do not become like the person who hurt you. This is where the real battle begins. When someone treats you with cruelty, your temptation may be to become cruel yourself. When someone lies to you, you may want to lie back. When someone humiliates you, you may want revenge. But revenge does not restore your character. It can destroy it. Do not allow someone else's darkness to dictate the kind of person you become. Stand firm, remain truthful, remain disciplined, remain charitable, but intelligent. Your goodness should have a backbone. Your forgiveness should have wisdom. Your compassion should have boundaries. Your faith should produce courage. There will be people in your life who misunderstand you. There will be people who speak against you. There will be people who leave because you finally refuse to compromise your principles. Let them leave. Not every departure is a loss. Sometimes losing access to a destructive relationship is the beginning of recovering yourself. And sometimes God permits certain relationships to reveal something you needed to see. Not so that you would become bitter, but so that you would become wiser. Do not waste the lesson. If someone repeatedly shows you who they are, stop arguing with the evidence. Look at actions, look at patterns, look at consistency. Words can be rehearsed. Actions are harder to disguise forever. And remember this: a person who constantly demands that you prove your love while refusing to demonstrate love themselves is not asking for love. They may be asking for control. A person who punishes you whenever you disagree is not necessarily seeking peace. They may be seeking obedience. A person who cannot tolerate your boundaries may have become accustomed to your lack of them. So stand up, not with hatred, not with arrogance, not with revenge. Stand up with dignity. You were not created to spend your entire life begging people to treat you properly. You were not created to destroy your mental and spiritual peace trying to satisfy impossible demands. You were not created to become a prisoner of another person's approval. There comes a moment when you must say, enough. Enough manipulation, enough excuses, enough allowing guilt to control your decisions. Enough sacrificing your principles merely to keep someone comfortable. Enough confusing suffering with virtue when that suffering is being unnecessarily prolonged by your refusal to establish boundaries. Be compassionate, but be discerning. Be forgiving, but be wise. Be humble, but do not become a doormat. Be courageous enough to walk away from what repeatedly pulls you away from truth, peace, responsibility, and virtue. The world does not need you to become harder. It needs you to become stronger without losing your goodness. That is the challenge. To remain kind without becoming gullible, to remain loving without becoming controlled, to remain humble without becoming weak, to remain forgiving without becoming blind. And when you encounter people whose behavior seems deeply destructive, do not obsess over labeling them. Focus instead on what you can control: your own character, your own choices, your own boundaries, and your own relationship with God, because ultimately, your greatest victory is not defeating another person. Your greatest victory is refusing to let another person's darkness determine who you become. So walk forward with courage. Keep your heart open, but keep your eyes open too. Loathe people, but use discernment. Forgive people, but learn from experience. Give people chances, but do not give endless permission for them to destroy your peace. And when you finally recognize that a relationship is consistently pulling you away from what is good, true, and virtuous, have the courage to step back. You do not need to become cruel to protect yourself. You need wisdom, you need discipline, you need courage. And above all, you need the strength to choose what is right, even when choosing what is right costs you the approval of others. Because sometimes the most courageous thing you can do is walk away quietly. Keep your dignity intact. Pray for the person who hurt you, and continue becoming the person you were meant to be. One of the most important lessons you can learn in life is to practice discernment instead of blind trust. Trust is valuable, but it should never be given without wisdom. Being a good person does not mean believing everything people tell you. Being kind does not mean ignoring warning signs. Being forgiving does not mean repeatedly placing yourself in situations where someone can continue to harm or manipulate you. There is a difference between judging someone's entire character and recognizing unhealthy behavior. You do not need to declare someone a terrible person simply because you notice that something is wrong. You only need to be honest about what you are seeing. If a person repeatedly lies, pay attention. If they constantly change their story whenever they are confronted, pay attention. If they hurt you and then somehow make you feel guilty for being hurt, pay attention. One mistake may be human weakness. A repeated pattern tells you much more. Manipulation often begins subtly. A person may test your boundaries with something small. They may ask for a favor and become angry when you say no. They may criticize you and then claim they were only joking. They may disrespect you and accuse you of being too sensitive when you object. Over time, these small behaviors can become a pattern in which you constantly question yourself while the other person avoids responsibility. This is why you must learn to observe actions rather than becoming completely dependent upon words. Words can be beautiful, emotional, and convincing. Someone can promise that they will change. They can tell you how much they love you. They can apologize repeatedly. But if their actions remain unchanged, you must take the pattern seriously. Discernment means asking yourself simple but difficult questions. Does this relationship consistently produce peace or confusion? Does this person respect my boundaries? Do they accept responsibility when they are wrong? Can I disagree with them without being punished? Do their actions match their promises? Do I feel pressured to constantly prove my loyalty while receiving little respect in return? These questions are not signs of paranoia. They are signs of maturity. You must also understand that not everyone who disagrees with you is your enemy. Sometimes a good person will correct you. Sometimes someone will tell you something you do not want to hear. Discernment does not mean rejecting criticism. It means learning to distinguish between correction that helps you grow and manipulation that attempts to control you. A healthy person can hear the word no. A manipulative person may treat your no as an offense. A healthy person can admit a mistake. A manipulative person may immediately search for someone else to blame. A healthy person can respect your independence. A controlling person may become uncomfortable when you make decisions without their permission. Pay attention to how people behave when they do not get what they want from you. Character is often revealed when circumstances become inconvenient. And do not ignore your own repeated experiences simply because you desperately want someone to be different. Hope is good, but hope must not become an excuse for refusing reality. If someone consistently demonstrates dishonesty, disrespect, manipulation, or cruelty, you do not need to keep inventing explanations for their behavior. At the same time, protect yourself from becoming suspicious of everyone. The goal is not to build walls around your heart. The goal is to build doors that you know how to open and close wisely. Give trust gradually. Let people demonstrate through consistent actions that they are worthy of it. Let time reveal what words cannot. There comes a point in life when you must understand that setting boundaries is not an act of hatred. It is an act of wisdom. You can forgive someone without allowing them to continue hurting you. You can care about someone without giving them unlimited access to your life. You can pray for someone without allowing their behavior to destroy your peace. Many people struggle with boundaries because they confuse forgiveness with permission. They believe that if they are truly compassionate, they must tolerate everything. But forgiveness does not mean pretending that nothing happened. Forgiveness means refusing to let hatred and revenge control your heart. It does not require you to repeatedly place yourself in the same harmful situation. There is strength in being able to say, I forgive you, but I cannot continue participating in this pattern. Some people will not understand that decision. They may accuse you of being selfish. They may tell you that you have changed. They may remind you of every time you helped them in the past and use your kindness as a reason why you should continue accepting their behavior. Do not allow guilt to become a weapon against you. A boundary is not a punishment. A boundary simply communicates what you will and will not accept. You cannot control another person's behavior, but you can decide how you respond to it. You cannot force someone to respect you, but you can limit their access when they repeatedly refuse to do so. This is especially important when dealing with people who constantly create conflict. Some individuals seem to need drama wherever they go. There is always an argument, always a crisis, always someone to blame. If you become emotionally involved in every conflict they create, you may eventually lose your own peace. You do not have to respond to every accusation. You do not have to defend yourself against every rumor. You do not have to explain every decision. You do not have to win every argument. Sometimes the wisest response, distance. Distance does not mean you hate someone. It means you recognize that continued closeness is unhealthy. There are relationships that can only remain peaceful when there is space between the people involved. You should also understand that boundaries become meaningful only when you are willing to enforce them. Saying, I will not accept disrespect means very little if you continue rewarding disrespect with unlimited access to you. If you tell someone that you will leave a conversation when they begin insulting you, then leave when the insults begin. If you tell someone that you will no longer participate in certain arguments, stop participating. Your actions must support your words. This requires courage because people may test you. When someone has become accustomed to controlling you, your new boundaries may initially make them uncomfortable. They may push harder. They may become angry. They may attempt to make you feel guilty. Remain calm. You do not need to become aggressive to become firm. There is a powerful difference between saying, I will destroy you if you treat me this way, and saying, I will remove myself from this situation if this behavior continues. The first is revenge. The second is self-respect. Never let someone convince you that protecting your peace makes you a bad person. Your responsibility is not to make everyone comfortable with your decisions. Your responsibility is to live according to truth, wisdom, and virtue, and remember that forgiveness can coexist with distance. You can release resentment while maintaining appropriate boundaries. You can genuinely hope that someone changes while recognizing that their change is not your responsibility. Do not spend your life trying to rescue people who refuse to take responsibility for themselves. Help when you can. Encourage when appropriate. Pray for those who have hurt you, but do not destroy yourself in the process. Real compassion does not require self-destruction. Real strength does not require cruelty. And real forgiveness does not require you to forget every lesson that experience has taught you. The healthiest boundaries are often quiet. You do not need to announce them dramatically. You simply begin living differently. You stop answering every call. You stop explaining yourself endlessly. You stop participating in destructive conversations. You stop giving repeated chances without evidence of change. You choose peace. You choose wisdom. You choose dignity. And when someone asks why you are different, you do not need a long speech. Sometimes the simplest answer is that you finally learn that loving people does not mean abandoning yourself for them. There is another battle that is even more important than recognizing the darkness in other people. The battle to make sure that their darkness does not enter your own heart. When someone lies to you, humiliates you, manipulates you, betrays you, or treats you with cruelty, the natural temptation is to become angry and seek revenge. You may think, they hurt me, so I will hurt them. But if you allow that thinking to control you, you may become the very kind of person you once promised yourself you would never become. Your character is tested most severely when you have been wronged. It is easy to be kind when everyone treats you well. It is easy to be patient when everything goes according to your plans. But real strength appears when someone provokes you and you still choose self-control. Real courage appears when you have an opportunity to retaliate but choose not to destroy yourself through bitterness. This does not mean becoming passive. It does not mean allowing abuse or disrespect. It does not mean pretending that injustice does not matter. It means responding with wisdom rather than allowing anger to become your master. There is a difference between justice and revenge. Justice seeks what is right. Revenge seeks to make another person suffer because you are suffering. One requires discipline. The other can consume you. You must learn to protect your heart from becoming poisoned by resentment. Resentment can make you think about the person who hurt you long after they have left your life. You replay conversations. You imagine what you should have said. You plan what you will do if you meet them again. You allow their actions to occupy your mind while they may not even realize how much power you have given them. Do not give someone that power. If they hurt you, learn the lesson. If they betrayed your trust, become wiser about whom you trust. If they manipulated you, learn to recognize manipulation. If they disrespected your boundaries, strengthen those boundaries. But do not allow their behavior to destroy your character. You can become wiser without becoming colder. You can become stronger without becoming cruel. You can become more careful without becoming hateful. This is especially important because pain can tempt you to generalize. One dishonest person can make you believe that everyone is dishonest. One betrayal can make you believe that nobody deserves your trust. One toxic relationship can make you believe that love itself is dangerous. Do not let one person's failure become your philosophy of life. There are still honest people. There are still loyal people. There are still people who will respect your boundaries, admit their mistakes, encourage your growth, and celebrate your success without jealousy. Keep your heart open to goodness while keeping your eyes open to reality. And remember that your identity should not be built around what someone else did to you. You are more than the betrayal. You are more than the rejection. You are more than the insult. You are more than the relationship that ended badly. You have the ability to choose what comes next. Perhaps the most powerful response to someone who tried to destroy your peace is to become more peaceful. The most powerful response to someone who tried to make you bitter is to become more compassionate. The most powerful response to someone who tried to make you feel worthless is to build a life rooted in truth, purpose, discipline, and dignity. Do not waste your future trying to punish your past. Take the lesson and move forward. There will be moments when anger returns. That is human. But you do not have to obey every emotion you experience. Feel anger, acknowledge it, and then decide what deserves your action. Emotional strength is not the absence of emotion. It is the ability to govern your emotions instead of allowing them to govern you. Choose your words carefully. Choose your relationships carefully. Choose your battles carefully. And choose your character above all else, because the world does not need another person who responds to cruelty with more cruelty. It needs people who can stand firmly against what is wrong without becoming consumed by hatred. You can say no without hatred. You can walk away without revenge. You can expose dishonesty without becoming dishonest. You can defend yourself without becoming cruel. You can forgive without becoming foolish. And you can continue your journey without carrying the weight of someone else's wrongdoing on your shoulders. Your greatest victory is not making the person who hurt you suffer. Your greatest victory is reaching a point where their behavior no longer controls your peace, your decisions, or the person you are becoming. Keep your conscience clear. Keep your standards high. Keep your heart disciplined. Let your experiences make you wiser, not bitter and stronger, not cruel. When you look back at everything we have discussed, remember this. The greatest danger is not simply recognizing destructive behavior in other people. The greater danger is allowing that behavior to destroy the person you are becoming. Learn discernment. Do not ignore patterns simply because you want to believe the best about someone. Watch actions, not just words. Pay attention to consistency, responsibility, respect, and character. You do not have to hate someone to recognize that their behavior is unhealthy. Wisdom means seeing reality clearly without allowing suspicion to control your heart. Then learn to establish boundaries. Forgiveness does not mean unlimited access. Compassion does not mean tolerating repeated disrespect. You can forgive someone and still walk away. You can pray for someone and still protect your peace. You can love someone from a distance when closeness continually produces destruction. And finally, guard your own character. Do not allow someone else's dishonesty to make you dishonest. Do not allow someone else's cruelty to make you cruel. Do not allow betrayal to convince you that everyone is your enemy. Let your pain teach you, but never let it poison you. There will always be people who misunderstand you. There will always be people who criticize your boundaries. There will always be people who are uncomfortable when you stop allowing them to control you. But you are not responsible for everyone's opinion of you. You are responsible for the person you become. So walk away from manipulation without hatred. Walk away from unnecessary conflict without bitterness. Stand firm without becoming arrogant. Forgive without becoming foolish. Love without abandoning wisdom. And protect your peace without closing your heart to goodness. Remember that strength is not becoming cold. Strength is remaining good while becoming wise. The goal is not to live in fear of other people. The goal is to live with enough wisdom that you are no longer easily controlled by them. Let your experiences sharpen your judgment, strengthen your boundaries, deepen your faith, and refine your character. Do not spend your life trying to prove yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. Do not waste your future seeking revenge against people from your past. Keep moving forward. Keep your conscience clear. Keep your standards high. Keep your heart disciplined. And when life places difficult people in your path, remember that you cannot always control who enters your life, but you can control who you become because of them. Your victory is not in destroying the person who hurt you. Your victory is in refusing to let them destroy you. So stand firm, walk wisely, protect your peace, guard your character, and never surrender the goodness within you simply because someone else failed to recognize its value. And when the journey becomes difficult, remember this. You do not have to become darkness to defeat what is dark. You only have to remain faithful to the light.